All right. Welcome. We are live. All right. Oh, I got my people here on Facebook Live. Okay. Welcome, welcome. It is the weekend. Cool. Day 5. We're about to rock it out. So welcome to the Audacity to Profit First 5-day challenge. This is day 5, and today we're going to be talking about the number one thing that most new and seasoned entrepreneurs fail at that crushes your ability to keep more of the money you make and actually pay yourself. All right, so that's what we're talking about today. Just to recap days 1 through 4 really quickly. Day 1, we talked about the missing piece to your paycheck and your profits. Day 2, we talked about how to pay yourself, how much, and it's not in your bank account. So I showed you how to figure out how much you should be paying yourself at a bare minimum, how to set that up, how to automate it, gave you all the details and an assignment there to do to make it happen. Day 3, we talked about keeping more of the money you make and showing how to do it consistently, at least 2 times a month. Day 4, we talked about what to get really good at to pay yourself and bank more profits consistently. All right, so if you missed any of the days 1 through 4, definitely join the challenge and you can get the replays. You get access to those. And to do that, you just basically have to go to bit.ly/pay profit first. bit.ly/pay profit first. Okay? And also, when you sign up for the challenge, you'll get a personal invite next week, September 15th, I believe that's Thursday, to a webinar that I'll be doing where we're going to actually work out some of the things that we talked about over the last 5 days, as well as add a few more little details there. So that'll be interesting. And here's what I want to share with you guys in case you've been hearing the buzz. The Academy of Bookkeeping is opening up registration next week, next Thursday. So just a heads up for you guys, if you are doing your bookkeeping yourself and you don't have any bookkeeping training, you're a non-bookkeeper, or if you want to, start doing bookkeeping for others, this is the place to come, get the training that you need. Here's what we're going to be talking about. The first thing we're going to be talking about is we're going to be going deeper into what's been covered over the last 5 days here on the challenge, as well as we're going to be talking about how to set up your accounting system, whether you're in QuickBooks, Wave, whatever system you are in. As you know, QuickBooks is my favorite. It is the one that I like to say is my weapon of choice, and I pimp QuickBooks. All right, so I can show you how to do that. Then we're going to go over posting your transactions. So everything that we're covering is going to be based on your business, your transactions, because you're going to do it hands-on. We're going to go over reconciling your bank accounts. We're going to go over how to read your financial statements. We're going to go over setting up and automating to be able to pay yourself. We're going to talk about banking more profits, how to actually make that happen, right? And we're going to talk about setting up your accounting workflow system, as well as some other things. And of course, there'll be plenty of Q&A time and things like that. So if it's something that you're interested in, you can definitely send me an email over at Felicia@FeliciaStreeter.com. And we can get you set up that way and make sure when the registration opens that you get in, because space is limited. So because we're going to be working small, intimate group, and we want to make sure that you get it done. So you're not going to leave and still have things to do to set up your accounting system or your workflow. It's going to be done. All right. So that is happening. Registration opening next week. Again, if you're not in the challenge, make sure you join it so that you can get the replays, stay up to date, get the invite to the webinar, as well as be notified when the doors to the Academy of Bookkeeping open. So if you want to get registered for that. All right, so diving into today, that one thing that a lot of small business owners just starting out or even seasoned miss out on is their workflow. You think about doing the workflow, I need a system for my marketing. We talk about sales funnels, right? We talk about getting clients, onboarding clients, all these different aspects of our business. But the one piece that coaches don't talk about, and maybe it's just because it's not their expertise, is your accounting workflow, or if you want to call it bookkeeping, accounting interchangeably, but that workflow system that you need for your money flow. Okay, so we're going to talk about that today. And what I'm going to do really is share with you my workflow, or how when I'm working with my clients doing their books for them, because I do take on a limited number of clients where I actually do the bookkeeping for them. So that is an option as well. And I do it for my books as well when I'm posting my books. So here's what happens on a daily basis. If you want to get pencil and paper, go ahead and grab it, because we're going to dive right in, and I'm going to give you exactly what I do daily, weekly, and monthly. So here's what happens on a daily basis. And now keep in mind, on a daily basis, it's as things happen. So if I don't have any money inflow or outflow on a given day, then there's nothing to do, right, on that particular day. So understand that. So, but on a daily basis, I'm compiling my receipts. So any receipts that I have, I'm compiling them. When I say compiling, what I'm doing, if it's a physical receipt, I keep them all together in one location in an envelope. Okay? I just put mine in an envelope. Every month, I get a new envelope. I put the month and the year. And I keep my envelopes all, my receipts all in one place. Okay? Invoices, same thing, compile those. I make a folder every month, right? And because I work with multiple companies, I'll put even my company name, I just put D4S, D, the number 4, and S, because I shorten it. And then I put, you know, for example, September 2016. So any invoices that I have, stick them in that folder. Any receipts goes in the envelope, because they're so small, I don't want to lose them. Contracts in that folder, right? Any cash transactions, you got to write that stuff down, because it's cash, right? Once it's gone, it's gone. And electronic documents, I save those on the computer inside my email account, which go back, watch a previous replay, and I talk about that. I believe it was either yesterday or the day before. So I tell you how I actually track all of that stuff. So you can go back there and find that out. So what I'm doing on a daily basis is really tracking my money flow, my income, and my expenses. Also, I use a simple spreadsheet on a daily basis to track my money coming in. So any income that I make, I just have a simple spreadsheet that I use, and I just put the, you know, like it'll have the date, and it may say $200 or whatever it was. So I track that. And I have it set up because some clients are still working, and I do share it with my clients. So I have some, you know, where it'll say, you know, the money from your business and then money from your job, so that you can track both, right? All money that's coming in is good money, so you want to track it all. So I do that. Okay, so that's the daily process. Now here's the other thing I want to tell you with your dailies. When you get a receipt or something like that, you want to make sure that you note the bank account. My husband's on the he's on Periscope, looks like, saying, "Hey, mommy." Okay, so when you get the receipt, if you you want to make sure you note on your receipts. This is really, really important. And a lot of times I have to go back to my clients and ask them what a particular receipt was for. And if it's months later and they've waited like a long time to, oh, it's my son and my husband. It says me and daddy. So I guess my son was saying, "Hey, mommy." Okay. So when you know, because if I come back to you months later and I say, you know, what was this receipt for? You don't remember. So the coolest thing to do is real quick, when you get the receipt, annotate what it was for. If you have multiple bank accounts, annotate which bank account you used, okay? Because a lot of times on the receipt, sometimes it does not show the last 4 digits, so we can't tell what account you use. And sometimes it's real general in what the receipt says, so we don't know what it's for. So real quickly, when you get it, just annotate it. Bank account, what it was for, okay? That's the daily. So recapping real quickly the daily. What do? We're compiling receipts. We're compiling invoices, contracts, cash transactions. Cash transactions, you're going to have to write down on a piece of paper or something, because it's cash. And then you want to track those electronic documents as well, daily. And then also get you a tracking sheet. Excel works okay. And actually, I'll share mine with you guys, and you can use that. But you want to track your inflow and outflow, income and expenses. Okay, so I'll share those with you guys. Weekly. Let's move on to weekly. What am I doing weekly? What are you going to be doing weekly with your workflow? Weekly, you should be reaching out to any clients or customers that are past due. We're talking about our money flow here, right? Talking about cash flow. So weekly, you should have some time set aside to be collecting on those past due accounts. That's where a lot of my clients leave money on the table. And I talk more about that in one of my courses I have called Clear Your Money Clutter. Okay? So that's something you want to do on a weekly basis. And one of the things you also on the daily want to do is invoice your clients as needed. So that's something, it's not every day because you may not have to every day invoice people. But what I say, instead of waiting to like say, oh, I'm going to invoice on the 1st and the 15th. You can do that possibly for past reoccurring clients. But when new clients come in, if you need to invoice them to get that money in the door, invoice them immediately. So if that means daily, do it daily. Whatever day it happens, they say yes, send the darn invoice, okay? All right, so weekly, what are we doing? On a weekly basis, reaching out to those clients and customers that have past due accounts to collect that money. That's weekly. All right, so moving on to monthly. What are we doing on a monthly basis? On a monthly basis, here's the process of what I'm doing to compile everything to go into the accounting system. Most of my clients are in QuickBooks or Wave, but going into that system and actually posting, reconciling, generating reports and things like that. So here you go, monthly basis. First thing I do is I compile all of my income and expenses, right? All documents. I get all the documents that happened that has anything to do with money flow. I compile everything into one location. That means I'm pulling it all out because I'm getting ready to post. Okay, that means also gathering any bank statements for that month. If I have multiple bank accounts, got to pull them all. If you're using PayPal, Square, Stripe, you have a merchant account plus a bank account, whatever you have, you need to pull all of those documents. Okay, here's a step that will save you time once you get into your accounting system. So the next thing I do is I go through the statements. I match the receipts up with the statements. Why? Because I want to make sure that everything is valid on the statement and that I have a receipt to back it up. As well as a lot of times on your statement, it doesn't tell you all the details. You know, it comes across funky sometimes on the bank statements. So that way when you look at the receipt, you can jot down on the bank statement what it was for, right? So that's why you want to pull those, compile, check, make sure everything is in alignment before you start posting. Okay? Now, the next thing you want to do is on your statements as well. If you have something, say your job costing, then you want to make sure you annotate on the statement what particular job it was for, right? So, or product for that matter. So say you had income coming in from Susie Smith. So you might write Susie Smith for the income, right? And then you may say, like I might would say bookkeeping services. Then I may have Jane Doe, and that was for bookkeeping training. Susie Smith, again, and she's coming into the Academy of Bookkeeping. So I would annotate that. Why? Because I want to categorize things. That way it helps with when you run your financials and you can analyze and see like, which of your products or services are more profitable than others. Well, if you don't categorize and input that type of information, you can't tell. All right. So that's why I do that. So then you should have everything you need, right? We've compiled everything. We've annotated what we need to annotate. Now it's time to go into the accounting system. Okay. So when I go into the accounting system, the first thing I like to do is post income, because I don't want to see no negative number. And if you post the expenses first, sometimes you might see negative numbers. Well, I want to collect my money in first. So that's just me. I post income, right? And then I post my expenses. And then I input any new customers. And unlike some people where they just may put the name, I like to put the full information for my customers as well as for my vendors. So I input the customers, then I input the vendors. And then I reconcile the bank accounts. We're talking about PayPal, Stripe, merchant accounts. If you have credit cards accounts, that's, for your business only, reconciling those type of things. Now, let me just say this real quickly. For some people, they may sync some of their accounts, right? So that you don't have to input the information. That's cool. Sometimes it gets a little glitchy and it's not that effective. And so you still have to kind of go back and audit to see that you have everything. Well, for me, it's just easier for me to input it from the get-go and know that I put it in correctly, and it's faster for me. So whatever works for you. But jot this down and remember this. If you are using one of your accounts for personal and business, I would suggest not syncing it. Why? Because all of those personal transactions that take place, you're going to have to go into your accounting system and delete each and every one of them. I'm just saying, more work. All right. So after you reconcile, the next thing you want to do, and it's reconciled, right? Because sometimes you may have transposed a number, it's out of balance. You got to fix that before you can actually reconcile. And it'll tell you that. It'll prompt you. So after it's reconciled, the next thing you want to do is run your 3 key financial reports at a bare minimum. 3. What are we running? Profit and loss statement, balance sheet, cash flow statement. After you run those reports, now it's time to analyze those reports. Okay? After you analyze the reports, you kind of look and you can see the actual financial fitness of your business. You see where your money's going, where it's coming in from. You can kind of look and see where you need to focus moving forward over the next 60 to 90 days type thing. Then you can file everything. You still got to keep it all together. So how are you going to file it? Have a folder. Remember I said get you a folder. You can put your company name, abbreviated if you need to. It's not a lot of space. Put the month and put the year. Example, for me, well, here's an example. You could just say Felicia, September 2016. Now, of course, those are long, so I would abbreviate September, of course, but you get the gist of it. You want to know what month and year it is, and then you're compiling in there what? The envelope with the receipts, any invoices, any, maybe the copy of the contract, and you don't need the full contract. You really just need the money stuff, right? And so you're going to compile all of that along with the financial reports that you ran, put them all in that one folder, file them in your file cabinet. And every month you do the same process. And you want to do this because you may say, well, hey, I can keep it all electronically. That's cool. It's the bomb. I love it. But guess what? The IRS can come back 7 years and say you move to a new system, something happens, you're missing something, whatever happens, computers, technology. It's nothing better than to have a paper copy. So I believe in having a paper copy. All right. So I file everything and I have it in the cloud. That's just me. So let's recap that really, really quickly. What are we talking about? We just covered the daily activities of what you should be doing. And let me go back and I'll recap that really, really quickly. Daily, what are you doing? You're compiling some things, your receipts, your invoices, contracts. Cash transactions, you're going to have to write down on a sheet of paper. Electronic documents. You're tracking your money, not just expenses, but income as well. Income and expenses on a daily basis. What you pay attention to grows. Pay attention to that money coming in because it'll grow for you. All right. And you're invoicing as needed on a daily basis. If you need to invoice somebody, invoice them. Why? Because that's money you're leaving on the table. So always invoice promptly. Weekly, what are we doing? This is what I do, right? I'm sharing with you what I do. Reach out to any clients or customers that are behind on their payments or their payment is past due. On a weekly basis, you should have a day set up where you're going to do that. Reach out to your customers and clients, just depending on what you do, and collect that money. All right. So you want to make sure you do that. And hey, how about this? Over in the Facebook group is where the after party happens, Game Changers Lounge. Share with me what day of the week you're going to take a look at your accounting system, see who is past due, customers and clients, and you're going to reach out to them to get your money. What day of the week are you going to do that? Put that in the Facebook group, all right? Monthly, what are we doing? This is what I do on a monthly basis for myself with my own accounting workflow as well as with my clients. Compiling all income and expense documents, gathering all bank statements, credit card statements, merchant accounts, any type of statement that has something to do with the business, compiling those. Then going through the bank statements, checking, making sure all items are accounted for, that I have backup for whatever hit the bank account, the statements, credit card statements and things like that, because we want to make sure everything is in alignment and valid. After I do that, noting on the bank statement, right, what the transaction was for if it is not clear on the statement, as well as who it was from if that needs to be noted as well. If you're job costing, you need to know what particular job, a particular charge or income coming in should be posted to. All right, so annotating all that on your statement. Then what you want to do is, once you do that, you're ready to go into your accounting system. And I told you day one, if you're not in an accounting system, get in one ASAP, right? All right, so once we're in the accounting system, what are we going to do? I like to post income first. Why? Because I like to see the money coming in. All right, after I post income, I post the expenses. After I do that, I input new customers. After I do that, I input new vendors. And I'm talking about setting them up correctly, not just posting as I see it, but I set them up correctly so that I don't have to add things later. After I do that, I reconcile each and every bank account, credit card statement, anything associated with the business, and it has a statement, reconciling those. Once they are all reconciled, then I'm running the three key financial reports. What are they? Your profit and loss statement, your balance sheet, as well as your cash flow statement. Then what are we doing? We are analyzing, looking at those. How much income did we make this month? How much have we made so far this year? How much did we pay ourselves? Is it in alignment what we talked about earlier this week? Are your percentages on tap, or do you need to make some changes, right? How much did you spend in expenses in certain categories? Do you need to adjust your spending? These are all the things you want to look at. Products and services. You can look at that and say, which ones are the most profitable, right? You can check all that out by running those reports. Once you do that, you analyze it, everything is good to go. You want to make sure now you compile everything back. Put it in a centralized location, one folder, put all the documents. Remember, we made the folder that said your company name, September 2016, everything goes in there, and you file it. That is the process. Any questions? Any questions? And if you come late, you miss some of those, the steps, you can definitely catch it on the replay. And while I'm waiting for questions to come through, if you have any, because sometimes it takes a moment, I just want to remind you, if you have not joined the challenge, it is not too late, because you can get the replays and you get access to those forever. So you want to make sure you join the challenge if you have not as of yet. How to join the challenge? You go to bit.ly/payprofitfirst. So that's bit.ly/payprofitfirst. Also, if you don't have questions right now, you're watching the replay, welcome. You can also ask questions by coming on over into the Facebook group, Game Changers Lounge. That is where the after party happens. You can ask questions there. We have conversations about the different topics that we've talked about, as well as other things that we need to do and know about to make it a game changer year. We're all about changing the game for ourselves, our family, and our generations to come. Well, that's where the party happens at. That's where the conversation is happening at. So make sure you join us over there. So any questions? Any questions? All right, well, cool. If you're feeling what I said, how about this? Share this with your peeps. If you know 2 or 3 other people in business that you say, you know what, they need to know about this. Maybe they don't have their workflow tight, and you want to share this. You can definitely share it. Periscope peeps, you can share it right there, up and down, left and right. Give you the ability to share it, Facebook and Twitter. You can use the hashtag Audacity to Profit First. Facebook and other social media sites, you can just tag me at Felicia Streeter. That would be cool. Appreciate that. If you're sharing via email and you've already joined the challenge, you already know that in your email, you have a link that says click the tweet, and you just click it and it does the work for you. So you click the link, and it's shared. All right. That's all you have to do. So any questions? Any questions? All right. Don't forget, next week we have the bonus webinar. So if you're in the challenge, you'll receive that information via email on how to join the challenge. So be on the lookout for that. And if you're saying, you know what, you need to learn more about your accounting, your bookkeeping, you need to work on your process, you need to work on your workflow of what we just covered today, along with setting up the correct sequence to make sure that you're paying yourself first and banking more profits, all of that, more detail with the step-by-step showing you how I do it via video. You're watching me actually inside the accounting system. You want to see all of that, join that. Next week, the doors open for the Academy of Bookkeeping. Next Thursday, the doors open. Yes, there will be an early registration through the end of September. So if you're feeling what I'm saying, you're like, you know what, I need to get in there, I need more information, feel free to reach out to me at Felicia@FeliciaStreeter.com, and we can have that conversation. And if it's something that you want to do, we can make sure you're set up to get in, because there is limited space. And so if it's something that's pulling you, make sure you don't miss that opportunity, okay? And if there is no questions, that is it. We have finished our 5 days, and I just want to say thank you for coming to join me live when you have, and watch the replays, taking time out your busy schedules to come and join me. I appreciate that. And for those of you that have shared the challenge, I really, really appreciate that. Thank you very much for entrusting me with helping you with your money flow. All right, I'll see you guys over in the Facebook group, Game Changers Lounge. Other than that, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.